Okay, so after a quick break, we will now continue on our discussion, and this time we will discuss on Wigmore's principles of judicial proof. When we say principles, these are big thoughts, okay? Kung atong kaning sabton og sayon, these are big thoughts or big ideas or rules that guides us on how we act or think. So let's say, for example, honesty is a principle. It is a rule that says it's always important to tell the truth or always tell the truth. So by principles, or here, when we say principles, it means it is a big idea. It is a foundation of knowledge that we have to follow. Okay? Now, based on his principles, he stated that handwriting is defined as a visible effect of bodily movement, which is an almost unconscious expression of fixed muscular habits, reacting from fixed mental impression of certain ideas associated with script form. So, as what we have discussed, handwriting is the visible product of the function of our neuromuscular activities that involves our brain or our central nervous system, which is composed of our brain, our spinal cord, and as well as our peripheral nervous system, which is naa dito ang atoang nerves. Now, it is almost unconscious tungod kay when we acquire the skill of handwriting, there is no need for us to directly copy what is seen on the board or what we are meant to copy because we just jot down what we think is important. And when we are jotting down notes, we are no longer concerned with the formations of our letters or the formations of our words or the movement of our strokes. Thus, this makes our handwriting unconscious. And this is unconscious because it is based on our fixed muscular habits. Let's say, for example, ang porma sa imuhang letter A is like this. But what has been taught at school is this is the correct form of letter A. But it becomes unconscious because it's based on your fixed muscular habit. So kung whatever it is, kung unsa ang porma sa mga letra that is comfortable for you, then that is how you execute your handwriting. And it is also, it reacts from fixed mental impression because again, we have different handwriting tungod kay we have different neuromuscular activities. And kung giunsa pag-imprint or unsa ang kaning activity sa atong brain, then that is how we also execute our handwriting. Okay? Now, next to his next principle, environment, education, and occupation. So these are three factors that affects our handwriting. So I will read the definition. Environment, education, and occupation affect individuals so variously in the formation of these muscular habits that finally the act of writing becomes an almost automatic succession of acts stimulated by these habits. Kung asa ta nag-execute, that is the environment, which means the space. Asa ta nagsuwat, is it on the table? Is it on our lap? Is it on a ground? Is it on the wall? And so on. And also, when we say environment, that also refers to our physical condition. So, are we sitting while we are executing our handwriting? Are we standing? Are we laying down? And so on. That refers to the environment. Education, the degree of what we know. Let's say, for example, we haven't practiced our handwriting much, so we haven't mastered our skill in handwriting because that is also equivalent to the degree of our education. So let's say, for example, kutob lang ta high school, or let's say kutob lang ta grade 6. So kung unsa atong nakatunan up until grade 6 or kung unsa atong na-practice sa ato ang handwriting up until grade 6 unya wala na nato gi-practice or gi-execute all the time atong handwriting, then that can also affect the movement of our muscles or our muscular habits, thus affecting our handwriting or our strokes. And lastly, our occupation. So let's say, for example, I am a fisherwoman, a farmer, or I'm working in the construction. So my occupation does not involve writing all the time. Og tungod kay dili man ako permi ma-practice ako ang skill in handwriting. So again, that will affect my muscular habits that can ultimately affect my handwriting skill. So here, kung unsa ang ato ang environment, ang kung asa ta nag-execute, unsa tong position sa pag-execute, kung unsa tong degree sa education, o kung unsa ang ato ang trabaho, that can directly affect our muscular habits. Why is that? Kay kung mag-execute ta sa environment that is unfamiliar to us, then our muscular movement or our muscle movements will also adjust on how we can properly execute our handwriting. And if wala na to permi na practice ang ato ang handwriting, then that can directly affect our muscular habits. So we will need to make adjustments on how to properly execute our handwriting. So that's why ang atong handwriting maapektuhan sa kung asa ta nag-execute ana, unsa atong degree of skill, and kung pirmi ba nato siya gina-practice, and kung ato siyang gina-practice, is it aligned with our occupation or our work, okay? So let's say for example, yes, nag-work ko sa construction site, but the thing is I don't always practice my handwriting. So that's why my muscular habits is not well aligned. So that's why my handwriting is not also very good. Okay. Next, or next principle, the imitation of the style of writing by another person becomes difficult because the other person cannot, by mere willpower, reproduce in himself all the muscular combination from the habit of the first writer. So muna ni diri masulod ang prinsipyo nga kung unsang ako ang agi, dili ninyo dili ninyo masunod, okay? So it means kung inyo haday i-try og imitate or i-try og kopya ang akong handwriting, you cannot directly copy it by mere willpower. Let's say, mutan-aw lang ka, unya imuhang kopyahon diritso, you cannot copy that directly. It will require constant practice. It will require studying the handwriting itself. Because again, we have different muscular combination, we have different muscle movement, we have different um, brain activity. So that's why we produce different handwritings. So ako, kay mao man ni ang ako ang muscular combination, this is the movement of my muscles and this is the activity of my brain, lahi ako ang handwriting from you. And that's why we cannot copy, we cannot imitate a person's handwriting without studying it and without practicing it. Okay? And lastly, in writing, our pen functions as an extension of the hand. The fingers transmit to the paper the directive impulse and the variation in muscular tension that, according to the nature of the writer's nervous organization, occur during the act or writing. Kasuway na ba mo? Nga, imuhang agi is paingon diri, pero imuhang pencil paingon dito or imong ballpen paingon dito. Gasuwat ka paingon diri, imong lapis paingon dito. Di ba wala? That is because ang ato ang pencil, or let's say writing implements or writing instruments, it serves as an extension of our hands. Thus, kung unsa gani ang function sa atong brain, mo transmit na sa ato ang muscles nga maoy mo direct sa atong hand kung unsa nga movement ang angay nato i-execute. Mausad na ang movement sa ato ang pen. That's it. That's so easy. Again, kung unsay movement sa atong fingers or sa atong hand, that will be the same as the movement of our writing instruments. And that's why, again, we have different handwritings. Okay? So let's just have a short recap. Okay, as defined by Wigmore, our handwriting is different because we have different neuromuscular activities and we have different bodily movements. Okay, and the environment, the education, and our occupation can affect our handwriting because it measures the degree of our skill. So kung asa ta mag-execute sa tong handwriting, unsa ta ka maayo mag-execute sa tong handwriting base sa kung kapila ta nag-practice ana, it can directly affect our handwriting tungod kay through constant practice, constant repetition, or if dili ta mag-practice, that will affect our muscular habits. And we cannot imitate a person's handwriting because again, we have different muscular habits or muscular combination, and we have different brain activities. And our hand serves no our hand or the pen functions as the extension of the hand, and that's why kung unsay movement sa atong fingers or our hand, that will also be executed with the movement of our pens. Okay, now let's move forward to the principles of handwriting identification. So muna siya ang tumbanan, ang sundanan nga nung makaingon man ta nga ang usa ka handwriting is let's say ang usa ka handwriting is kinakopya or dili na siya tinuod, or that it is forged or that it is copied by another person. So first principle is no two writers write exactly alike, and no writer can write the exact same writing the second time of execution. As what I have said, we have different neuromuscular activities. And tungod kay lahi-lahi man ang activity sa atong brain, then we will also have different muscular or combination. We have different muscular combination. And that's why we cannot write the same way as others. And vice versa, they cannot write the same way as us. Another thing, no writer can write the exact same writing the second time of execution. Since our brain, it has different activities, since we are not robots, it cannot produce the same precision na ato ang na-produce the first time. So let's say, for example, I've executed my handwriting is this one. No, this one. Magsuwat ko og word. Honey. Okay, that's the first one. Next. Okay, can you see the difference? Course, because again, ako mismo nga writer, dili ko maka-execute sa akong exact same handwriting sa ikaduha nga higayon. And why is that? Because again, we have different neuromuscular activities. Og tungod kay lahi-lahi ang activity sa atong brain in a short span of time, we cannot execute the exact same writing with the same like precision because we are not robots. And that is because we have different brain activities in a short span of time nga maskin sa ako di ko kakopya mismo sa ako ang first handwriting. Okay? Next, the physical writing condition and position of the person, including his writing instrument, may affect the handwriting characteristics, but they do not confine all its identity elements. Okay, so kung asa ta nag-execute sa ato ang handwriting, and kung unsa ato ang physical writing condition, whether we are sitting, we are laying down, we are standing, and including our writing instrument, it can affect or it may change our handwriting characteristics. But it does not confine all its identity elements. Let's say, for example, mag-execute ko sa akong handwriting is this one. Okay? But look, my identifying elements is of course the shape of my letter H. Naadjud siyay beard or na siyay not that's not a beard, that is a hook. Naadjud siyay hook. And of course sa ako ang O na-adjud siya space here. So those are the identity elements. And even though na-change slightly akong handwriting, wala gihapon natangtang ang ako ang identifying elements. But still, our handwriting can change based on our physical writing condition and the position and even the handwriting instrument that we use when we execute our handwriting. So let's say for example, magsuwat ko gamit ang ballpen. Of course, dili jud na siya maka-execute og handwriting the same way or the same ang kabag-on sa akong pag-execute sa handwriting gamit ang usa ka pentel pen, okay? Or same sa chalk, okay? Now, there are different factors affecting the differences in letter formation. So these are the things nga makaapekto sa ato ang handwriting, and these are the mechanical means. When we say mechanical means, of course, mo na ang atong gitawag nga writing instruments. Unsa man nga writing instrument ang atong gigamit? Is it ball pen? Is it felt tip pen? Is it a pencil? So of course, lahi-lahi jud na ang degree sa atong pag-execute sa atong letter formations depende sa kung unsa atong gigamit nga writing instrument. Next is the writer's degree of graphic maturity. So let's say, for example, you are not um, practicing your skill in handwriting all the time. So of course, even though you already know or you have already grasped the concept of executing your handwriting unconsciously, still kung dili ganina nimo pirmi praktiso na jay possibility nga ang imong handwriting dili na mamaayo. So that's why it can also affect the letter formation. Next, the writer's relative speed of handwriting. So kung paspas ang imuhang handwriting, let's say for example this one, and this one is slow, that can affect the letter formation. So kung paspas, of course, mura na siya og kanang scribbles, no? But if it's slow, then you can see that the letters are well performed or kanang purma kayo siya or it's well formed. However, when we execute your handwriting with speed, it will create um, not a uniform stroke, but an even stroke, or let's say uneven handwriting lines. And kung na gani even handwriting lines, it means there is an equal distribution of your ink. It means there is a good rhythm in your handwriting, meaning maayo ang imong pagka-execute sa imong handwriting and you are not hesitating. Wala ka nagduha-duha sa pagsuwat. Pero kung hinay imo ang handwriting, it means that there is equal distribution of ink. Kung tungod kay there is equal distribution of ink man, it means tanan aspect sa imong handwriting is baga. And there might be times na nag-hesitate ka kung unsa ang imuhang execution sa imong handwriting. Next, the writing system that the writer learned. Together with that is the writer's nationality. So of course, us Filipinos, dili man takibaw kung unsaon pag-execute sa Japanese kanji. We do not know how to execute Arabic characters. So therefore, kung unsa tong nakatunan nga writing system and kung unsa tong nationality, that will directly affect the formation of our letters. Okay? And next, the writer's degree of visual sensitivity and impressionability. So let's say for example, naamoy makita sa blackboard nga ako ang ipasuwat ninyo niya, then akong ipa-erase dayon. So kung unsa ra inyohang nakuha nga idea dito sa akong gisuwat, mura pod na ang inyohang isuwat dito sa inyohang notes. Impressionability, so kung unsa imong nasabtan. And next, the writer's characterological factors such as vanity, affectation, and desire to imitate others. When we say characterological factors, it means kung imuha ba ng paninduton ang imuhang agi, gusto ba ka mag-add og kaning mga design sa imong handwriting or gusto ba ka nga makopya ang handwriting sa imong kauban nga nindot kaayo, but still even if you try to copy your friend's handwriting or your classmates handwriting, again it will not confine the identifying elements of your handwriting. And next, the writer's knowledge of foreign languages and special training. Now here, just because it says special training, it doesn't mean nga musod ka ana sa eskwelahan para lang mag-train unsaon pagpanindot ang imuhang agi, ha? When we say special training, it means how do you consistently practice your handwriting. So if you consistently practice your handwriting, then it will also produce a good handwriting. But if not, then of course, you cannot develop your handwriting skill. And of course, the knowledge of foreign languages. So, the knowledge of foreign languages can also directly affect our letter formations or our handwriting. So, let's say, for example, in the case of Bruno Hartmann and the Lindbergh or Charles Lindbergh, the Lindbergh baby. Si Bruno Hartmann is a German national. And adto jud nahibaw-an na siya ang kidnapper sa kadto ni Charles Lindbergh tungod kay ang formation sa iyang letter is like this. Tungod kay distinct ang formation sa iyang letter G and letter J. Nga makit-an ra ko sa mga ipang-execute sa mga German nationals. And through that, na-identify kung kinsa ang kidnapper ni Charles Lindbergh. So our knowledge of foreign languages, especially with how we execute our letters, can directly affect our letter formations. Next, the writer's physiological condition. So let's say, for example, na injured ka at that time. So, syempre, maglisod jud ka og execute sa imong handwriting, especially if ang na-injured nga part is your dominant hand. So, therefore, mal-usab jud na ang porma sa imong mga letra or ang porma sa imong strokes. Next, chronic physical impediments. When we say chronic, pabalik-balik physical impediments, it means murag ka ng sakit nga pabalik-balik. So, let's say, for example, kakuan mo anang pahinumdom sa neurobion nga naay times nga murag ilahang muscles or ilang nerves kay dili mo function og tarong or kanang murag naay mo kuryente sa ilahang kamot. So, if kana gani nga occurrence, magbalik-balik na siya, that can also, and also during the time nga mag-execute mo sa inyong handwriting, that can also affect the forms of your letters. And next, whether the letter form stands alone or at the beginning or end of a word. Of course, kung unsa asa nato dapita i-execute ang ato ang letters, again, it will affect our letter formations. So let's say, pinakauna nga part sa ato ang word. Syempre, kay naman siya sa pinakauna, we will execute the capital letter. If it's in the middle, we will execute the small letter. And if it's in the end, of course, we will execute the small letter. But sometimes, naitaw kung magsuwat gani og kaning pinakatay, ang last part sa ilahang letters is na junay flying finish or pasaka na finish, okay? So, again, ang formation sa atong letter, magdepende po di ay na kung asa nato gi-place ang ato ang letters. Next principle. A writer cannot exceed his maximum writing ability or skill without serious effort and training over a period of time. So, as what I have said, you cannot really have a good handwriting if you do not practice it consistently. And this is very important in handwriting identification and handwriting examination because kung bati og agi ang imong gikopya nga handwriting, nya nindot ka og agi, di jud na nimo mapabati imuhang agi kung dili nimo studyhan o dili nimo praktisan kung unsaon pagkopya sa bati nga agi and vice versa. Kung bati ka og agi unya imong gikopya nga perma, imong gikopya nga agi is nindot, di jud na nimo mapanindot ang imong agi kung dili nimo praktisan o dili nimo studyhan. Okay? So a person who produces fluent, nindot, maayo nga pagkasunod-sunod, free-flowing nga handwriting, legible, dali mabasa, rhythmic and artistic handwriting, dili jud na siya makaproduce og bati or cramped. When we say cramped, ka na murag dugol kaayo, poor bati, illegible, maglisod og basa, and rigid handwriting. Again, ang tao daw nga naay nindot nga agi, madali mabasa nga agi, and artistic nga agi, dili na makaproduce og bati og dugol nga agi nga lisod basahon. Okay? So you cannot exceed your maximum writing ability or skill kung dili na nimo practicean over a period of time. And take note, our handwriting changes if we consistently practice it for the period of 7 years. Okay? Every 7 years, mo improve ang atong handwriting. Or, napoy possibility, di na siya mo improve kung dili ka mag-practice pirmi. Okay? Next principle. Similarity of handwriting does not mean identity. In a group of writers, particularly those trained under the same handwriting method, similarities in their handwriting or their writing style are quite common. However, based on the principle of the individuality of a person's handwriting, each person's writing remains distinct. This uniqueness stems from subtle characteristics shaped by the individual's cognitive processes, which vary from person to person. Okay? So, we have a thing called general. Wait a moment. I will just type it here. Thing called general or class characteristics. Kani si general or class characteristics. Muni ang ato ang handwriting nga or ang porma sa atong letters or ang stroke sa atong handwriting nga ato ang nakatunan sa eskwelahan. Ug tungod kay kung same ang ato ang nakatunan nga porma and how to execute our handwriting, there will be a time nga naa jud nay similarity atong handwriting sa ubang nga tao. However, since lahi-lahi man ang ato ang neuromuscular activity or ang atong cognitive process, ang atoang handwriting maapektuhan gihapon na ang iyahang characteristics base sa proseso sa atoang minds. So most probably, ang porma sa letter A ni friend ingon ani, ang porma sa imong letter A ingon ani. But the thing is, na ay possibility, not possibility, but the thing is, lahi na ang movement sa inyong handwriting. Probably, yeah, let's write the word about, okay? Kanisha, iyang spacing is ingon ana, but for you, your spacing is like this. So, kung imuhang spacing, ingon ani, it means lahi gihapon ang characteristics sa inyong handwriting despite having the general or seeing similarities of your handwriting. So, kung makakita gani mo o kapareho nga handwriting sa duha ka specimen, which is the question and the standard, dili na siya, it doesn't automatically mean nga nagbilong na siya directly sa usara ka tawo. First, you have to test out or you have to see first kung asa man ang mas nagway. Kung pareho dyan na tanan nga similar, like ang forma, ang spacing, kopya kaayo, then it means it is not written by one person. It is written by two people because complete similarity means forgery or complete identity means forgery. Because if there is similarity, but gamay ra ang similarity, it does not mean identity. Because again, complete identity means forgery. So para masabtan og dali, okay? I will share this analogy, okay? So we wrote the word about. So muni inyohang nakatunan nga porma sa letters adto sa eskwelahan. For A, taas or na siya dako nga spacing, okay? Wide spacing. For B, na siya narrow spacing. Now, even though same ang porma sa iyang letter A, letter B, letter O, and so on, it does not mean that same ra ang tao nga nag-execute ana. It is because similarity does not mean identity, okay? It does not mean that it is executed by one person. Now, in terms of complete identity means forgery. Let's say, for example, gipalutaan ko ni og papel. Unya, ako siyang gitrace. So, it means, kompleto tanan. Kopya kayo na ako tanan. Nga naman, kay ako manggi-trace ra, ako manggi-simulate ra, ako manggi-kopya ra. So, kompleto tanan, and kung ako siyang i-overlap, mag-intercede siya, pareho kaayo siya, it means it is forged. Because again, we cannot really copy the exact handwriting of another person, and we, as people, we cannot execute the exact same handwriting the second time of execution. Dili ta maka-execute syempre or with precision sa exact same handwriting sa ikaduha nga higayon. So kung pareho gani na tanan nga elemento diha, tanan identifying factors diha, it means it is forged because again, we cannot copy a person's handwriting. And we, as individuals, we cannot execute our handwriting the exact same way the second time of execution because again, we are not robots, okay? So we cannot execute our handwriting with machine-like precision. Next, natural variations are natural attributes of the handwriting process. Since lahi-lahi man ang atong neuromuscular activities, it is common to have natural variations. When we say variations, muna siyang pagkalahi-lahi sa atong agi. So let's say, for example, muna siya ang first. This is the second. As you can see, lahi siya. But still, that is normal. Because again, natural variations are natural attributes of the handwriting process. Pero ma'am, unsa man na mo pagkibaw nga kanang handwriting usara ka tawo ang nagsuwat ana nga pwede man di ay nga magkalahi-lahi ang agi sa usa ka tawo. Again, that's why we have the identifying elements such as this one. Again, na ay hook ang ako ang agi. Ang akong letter H. Ang ako ang letter N na siya'y duha ka humps. Akong letter E na siya'y small nga loop. Ang akong letter Y na siya'y big nga loop. And diha ta magtanaw sa handwriting elements or characteristics. So even though this is variated. It means lahi-lahi siya, duha nga agi. Still, we can identify if it belongs to one person or not by looking at the identifying elements. Okay? Now, let's say here, for example, these are variations. Again, a variation is a more or less definite pattern for each is stored away in a subjective mind, but the hand does not always produce a stereotype duplicate of that pattern. So again, na ay variations or natural variations sa atong handwriting tungod kay we are not machines and we cannot produce the same handwriting with the same like precision. So that's why it is natural for our handwriting to be exactly different. Like this one, gamay, medium, nidako. Okay? But that is normal. And we can identify if it belongs to one person or not by looking at the identifying characteristics. Okay? Next, speaking of variations, we need to know the causes of variation. First off is the function of some external condition. So it can refer to the space. It can refer to where we execute our handwriting. It can be on the table, the chair, on the wall while we're standing. So that is what we mean by external condition. And again, and in line with this, again, external condition, what if we are executing our handwriting in a moving car? So, syempre, malahi dyan nato ang handwriting when we execute it in a space nga normal ra, or if we execute it on a table. Next is the abnormal conditions such as physical injury, toxic effects, inebriations. When we say inebration, mga pagkahubog, emotion, and deception. So when we say abnormal condition, muna siya ang kanang condition sa atong lawas nga dili mo occur normally. So let's say physical injury, nasamad ka or na injured ka. So syempre, kung imuhang dominant hand ang nasamad or na-injured, maglisod jud ka og execute sa imong handwriting. Thus, it produces variation. Toxic effects and inebriations, nahubog ka, you're under the influence of drugs, or let's say na sakit ka and then you're taking medicine such as drugs. Again, drugs, di na siya ingon nga negative lang ha. It can also refer to medicine. So that can affect the activity of your brain. So thus, it produces variation. Emotion, for example, lagot kay ka. Kung mag-execute ka sa imong handwriting, syempre, imo mo dyan ang ituot pag-ayo. So, mausab gyapon imong handwriting. So there will be changes in your handwriting. But then again, that does not confine the elements of your handwriting. And lastly, the position of letters. As what I have said, kung asa na nimo gibutang ang imong letter. Let's say, for example, here, look at the R. And look at the R here, di ba lahi-lahi ang porma sa ilahang R. Depende sa kung asa nila gi-place ang ilahang letters. Is it in the initial part, in the middle part, or in the final part? Okay? And here, variation is important because personal variation encountered under normal writing condition is also a highly important element of identification. It is an important element of identification because, again, normal variation or variations in writing is normal. So kung makita gani nimo, okay, na pagkausab ang iyang agi, but despite nga nay nausab ang sa iyang agi, wa gihapon nausab ang iyang identifying elements, then it means it is written by one person. Okay, it is improbable that the variety and extent of the variation in handwriting will be exactly duplicated in two individuals, that such a coincidence becomes practically impossible. So, since variation is a natural process that we execute in our handwriting, or it is commonly found or it is normal to see variation in our handwriting. And the cause of variation is, of course, the activity of our brain. Dili jud na makopya sa lain nga tao ang variation sa imong handwriting. Okay? With a group of signatures of a particular writer, certain normal divergence in size, lateral spacing, and proportions actually indicate genuineness. So let's say here, for example, this is just written by one person. But as you can see here, ang size sa iyang letters ni usab, small, medium, and it's slightly bigger. And here, the spacing is slightly compact. This one here, medyo ni wide siya. And here, ni narrow siya, gamay. But these are indications of genuineness because again, it is normal to see nga nay kausaban gamay sa ato ang agi because again, we have different neuromuscular activities over time. So dili lang di ay ni lahi-lahi ang atong neuromuscular activities as individuals, no? Dili lang dahil lahi-lahi atong function dili lang dahil lahi-lahi ang function sa atong brain from the functions of the brains from others. Lahi-lahi po day ang function sa atong brain every second or every minute, and that's why lahi-lahi po ang ato ang agi or makaproduce o variation ang ato ang agi. Okay, now here we have factors that affect writing changes. Muna pag-usab sa atong agi, we have the natural variations as what I have discussed and transitory change that is also directly affected by the natural variation. When we say transitory change, muna siyang from the word transitory, meaning it's temporary. Nausab siya tungod kay it can be because na-injured ka, so na deteriorate or naapektuhan ang imuhang skill sa handwriting. But later on, ma-okay ra ka once maulian sad ang imuhang injury. Okay, so that's why we call it transitory. In line with variation, we have the word tremor. Tremor means the deviation from uniform strokes due to lack of smoothness, perfectly apparent without magnification. So when we say tremor, para dali sabtom na siyang pagkurog sa ato ang agi. That is the deviation of stroke. So let's say for example, imuhang agi is very straight, but then ni deviate siya, nausab siya, na ni kurog gamay. That is what we call tremor. Now, speaking of tremor, there are different types of tremors. We have the genuine tremor and we have the tremors of Ron. When it comes to genuine tremor, muna siyang pagkurog, pag-usab sa atong agi or pag-deviate sa stroke sa ato ang agi. Tungod kay, possibly, it is a tremor of weakness or sickness. That is or, okay? Weakness or sickness. It means nasakit ta that time. So maglisod ta og execute sa atong agi tungod kay we are shaking or trembling, nagkurog ta. We have muscle weakness or fatigue. Maglisod ta grip sa ato ang handwriting instrument. Or we have decreased muscle power. We do not have enough energy to execute our handwriting normally. So because we are weak or we are sick, that's why naay deviation sa uniformity sa ato ang strokes. Next, tremors of old age. This is known as tremor in older adults. If you can notice, si lolo ug si lola, sometimes maglisod na sila og execute sa ilang handwriting and sometimes they will require guidance when they execute their handwriting. And kung pagkurog or pagdeviate sa ilahang agi, we call that tremors of old age. Next, we have tremors of illiteracy. Just because it says illiteracy, it doesn't mean no read or no write. It means lack of skills tungod kay wala man nila permi gi-practice ilahang skill in handwriting, so syempre it will produce tremors by the time that they execute their handwriting. And lastly, we have tremors of fraud. For example, nag-execute ko sa ako ang pirma here and then nakurog diri, pero wala na nako tuyo. But then si forger, nakita niya nga na ay kurog diri. Nya wala siya kibaw nga dili dahil na siya part sa ako ang signature. Pero iya gyapon gikopya. So ang kanang pagkurog nga iyang gikopya sa ako ang signature mo nang gitawag nga tremors of fraud. From the word fraud, pagpangilad, pagbuhat sa usa ka butang para mangilad. Okay? Next, seventh principle, there must be consistency and persistency in writing habits. So as what I have said, 'di ba si kaning handwriting variation or variations in handwriting is normal in our handwriting. So it is something that's normal na jud na pagkausab sa ato ang handwriting. But our handwriting must be consistent and persistent. Consistent, it means permi na to makita. It does the same thing or the same way each time. So as for example, this is my letter H. My letter H will always have a hook. And it is persistent. It means you always notice that one. So let's say, for example, this is the form of my letter H. Najud siya hook at the beginning of my stroke. Consistent, it is the same way every time. Okay, same way every time. It is persistent because you see it in all of the specimens. So regardless if there is variation, if the handwriting elements are consistent, meaning it is always the same way and persistent, you always see it in different specimens, then it is written by one person. Okay? Next, the combination of handwriting characteristics, including those derived from form and writing movements, are essential elements of identification. So as what I have said, kung atuwa na ganinang tan-aon, and then we can see that the handwriting elements are consistent and persistent despite the variations in handwriting, then these are essential elements of identification, because kung similar ang kadtong mga handwriting elements and then you can see that there is variation, then it is written by one person. Pero kung it is similar but there is no variation or nakopya exactly ang variation nga nakita sa first specimen, then it is forged or it is not genuine. So, if we combine the observation that we see on the handwriting characteristics and we can see from form and writing movements, then those are what we can those will serve as basis of identification, whether it is written by one person or not. Okay, next, individuality in handwriting can only be determined through comparison examination with the standard written or prepared under comparable conditions. So, of course, we cannot conduct a handwriting examination if our standards and our questioned document or questioned handwriting is not in comparable conditions. For example, our standard is written in cursive. Our standard is written in cursive, and then our question is written in script writing, or let's say, yes, script writing or hand lettering or hand printing. Since they are not in comparable conditions, you cannot conduct a document examination. They should be in a comparable condition. So dapat kung si standard gani cursive, dapat ang atong question cursive, and vice versa. Kung ato ang question is script written or handwritten or hand lettered, so our question or our standard should also be script written or hand lettered. Okay, next, sufficiency of specimen. So here, a writing was written by one person when there is a sufficient number of identical writing habits. So muna ning time nga maghatag ta og points. Okay, so let's say for example, di ba, ato naman tong gikon nga H, H, H. So this one is consistent. Similar sila. So 3 points na siya. And imuha po nga tagan og points ang variation. Kung masubraan gani, let's say 10 out of 10 tanan jud kopya kaayo gikan nga naa sa standards unya naa sa question, 10 imong nakita nga similarity sa standards, 10 pud imong nakita nga naa sa question, kopya tanan, then that is written by two people, because again there is variation in our handwriting. So dapat even ra na siya dili siya kopya tanan, but you can see na naay points ang iyahang similarities. And next, our writing was not written by one person when there is a sufficient number of divergent writing characteristics, and simultaneously kung nag-execute og handwriting diha unya na ay lahi-lahi nga porma sa letter, so of course it is not written by one person. Okay, so para dali sabton, if makita gani nimo nga identical ang writing habits in different specimens, taga na nimo points. Dayon, imuha siyang i-compare with your question or standard handwriting, okay? Imo na siyang i-compare. So let's say for example, you're examining the standards and then makita nimo nga naay 3 points iyang hook. Katulo ni appear si hook, okay? Dayon, Sa question, katulupod ni appear si Hook. Pero, pagtan-aw nimo, mao man jud ni pormaha sa letter. Imong gi-overlap, no? Imong gi-overlap sa usag-usa. Mao jung pormaha, mao ang size, mao tanan. Kung kopya gani na kaayo tanan nga elemento, that is forged. That is written by two people. Pero kung imo nang i-compare kani og kani sa kani og diri, di man kopya tanan, but there are points in which they are identical. Then it is written by one person. Why is that? Even though there are identifying elements, still there is variation. Because again, we cannot produce the same handwriting with exact same precision the second time of execution. And simultaneously, kung magkopya ka sa imong standards adto sa question niya, makita nimo nga pareho na nga, not pareho, makita nimo nga lahi na silang duha, then of course it is written by two people, it is not written by one person. Okay, hopefully that is understandable, and those are the principles of handwriting identification.